Today I'm going to go over an awesome, out-of-this-world encounter that a woman claimed to have when she was a child. And this story belongs in my series, Weirdest Alien Encounters. And that series definitely needs to be updated. I can't believe I made that 6 years ago. I also want to let my subscribers know that I'm currently working on Strange Disappearances Part 2 and 3, and Part 2 will be done sometime later next month. In 1974, a woman, Evelyn, an owner of a beauty salon, decided that it was finally time for her to tell the world about what she had encountered when she was just a little girl. 50 years ago in 1924, while she was walking around her school in Florida, she saw a tiny egg-shaped object that was extremely bright lying on the field. So curious, she ran over there to see what it was. And as she was getting closer, she had to shield her eyes with her hands as this object was just way too bright to look at. Then as the brightness was dimming, she saw a door opened up, followed by what appeared to be little robotic flowers that had faces where the bud normally would be. And instead of screaming and running away, she just stared at them in shock. She stated, "Little people emerged. I think they were robots. I tried to count them, but they changed about so. They were smaller than I was and resembled animated flowers with faces where the bud would be. Remember, I was just a tiny thing then, and kids don't fear flowers." Then Evelyn saw that these robotic flowers were carrying something. Or they were trying to carry it, but they were having a hard time as they were so small. So Evelyn tried to help them, and they lit her, but she couldn't budge this thing. So these little robotic people were a lot stronger than her, even though they were half her size. But she soon realized this object was some sort of weapon, and they were aiming it at the science building. These beings told her telepathically that they were doing awful things in there, so they came here to blow it up. Now Evelyn started freaking out, as she was worried about her fellow classmates, so she convinced them not to do it, and they agreed. But then they told her that they would come back later and blow it up when there were no kids or other humans around. Now when they left, they wanted Evelyn to come with them, but she declined as she didn't want to leave her family. So they said that they will come back in 35 years for her. But sadly for Evelyn, they never did come back. She was looking forward to seeing them again. And also, she did say that a little while later, something did happen in that science building, as she said one day she saw it in shambles. Now after Evelyn came forward, this story at the time got a lot of attention in the paranormal communities, and some people believe that she was telling the truth. There are many eyewitnesses out there who have claimed to have seen similar entities, and I've covered quite a few of them over the years. But what makes this case unique is these entities wanted to blow up a science building. And it makes me wonder, what if Evelyn was telling the truth? What if they were doing horrible things in there and these aliens, or whatever they were, found out and decided to blow it up? But before they did, they saw a little girl approaching, so they disguised themselves as flowers so she wouldn't freak out. Evelyn even said, "Nobody is afraid of flowers." This is a great encounter. It's one I would love to be true. I think it'd be pretty cool if there were little robot flower people out there in the universe. And also, they seem to be extremely nice to Evelyn. They even offered her to come with them. And if they were doing horrible, unspeakable things in that science lab, then I'm glad they blew it up. This case reminds me of another out-of-this-world encounter known as the Vegetable Man. In 1968, a bow hunter and a U.S. Air Force vet was hunting in West Virginia. And while he was hunting enjoying the beautiful day, he heard a strange noise. A very unusual high-pitched sound was coming from the forest in front of him. Then, he saw a bizarre-looking creature coming right towards him. It looked like a walking vegetable. Frederick could not believe what he was seeing. Then this being talked to him, but it wasn't talking in English. But somehow Frederick was able to understand what it was saying. It said, "Don't fear me. I wish to communicate with you. I come as a friend. We know of you all. I come in peace. I need medical assistance. I need your help." Then it touched Frederick's arm with its thorny fingers, and it started to suck his blood. Frederick stated that it was painful, but he was in shock, just frozen in fear. And as this being was sucking in his blood, he saw that it started to look different, like it was being rejuvenated. Frederick's blood was healing it. Then when it was done, it thanked Frederick and just ran away. It was also capable of jumping extremely high, like it wasn't affected by Earth's gravity. Then it jumped over a hill and disappeared. Now Frederick, still scared out of his mind, finally snapped out of his trance-like state and ran as fast as he could back to civilization. And while he was running, he heard a humming sound coming from behind him. Then he saw this strange-looking craft fly away at extremely high speeds. Now just like Evelyn, Frederick didn't tell anyone. He knew people would think he was crazy. But as time went by, he felt the need to tell the world his story. He wanted some answers. And because he was a respected hunter in the area and an Air Force vet, some, especially those who knew him, believed he must be telling the truth. And today this case is known as one of the most bizarre alien encounters in the world. Until next time, this is Paranormal Junkie. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned.